Hello everyone, welcome to Calling Glass, welcome to the pod, welcome to the club. My name is Alvaro, as always, and today in the podcast, Overreactions to Game 1 of the series of the playoffs. Hello, welcome back. Today in the podcast, like I said, I will be overreacting to the games played in the weekend on Monday night. First, I will start by saying how is the bracket, the playoff bracket looking. So we have in the West, Thunder Grizzlies 1-0 for Thunder. Nuggets and Clippers are tied 1-1. Lakers Timberwolves, Minnesota is leading 1-0, and Rockets Warrior have the upset, if you can call it that. They are winning 1-0. In the East, Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat 1-0 for Cleveland. Pacers Bucks 1-0 for Pacers. Knicks Pistons 1-1 actually, and Celtics versus Orlando 1-0 for Boston. And we go to the first series that started the playoff this year, which was Milwaukee Bucks against Indiana Pacers. They started this Saturday in a good hour for those watching from Europe. Milwaukee 98, Indiana 117. Easy game for Indiana. Key stats: points of turnover, Milwaukee 3, Indiana 14. Fast break points, Indiana 22, Milwaukee 5. And the biggest lead for Indiana was 28 points. Let's go a bit with the box score. Indiana Pacers, Haliburton played not a good game, although he had 12 assists, but only 10 points. 3 of 13 from shooting, 0 of 7 from the threes. I feel like Haliburton has lost this magic that he used to have. I feel like I see him more contained, like he's not improvising as much as he used to. I liked better when he was running a bit more and just shooting those threes a bit out of nowhere. I think he was playing a bit better. I think Indiana was playing better with him like that. But well, they played very good, so I cannot complain. But I feel like there is something missing in the mentality of Haliburton. Maybe I'm thinking now, maybe this past summer in the Olympics with USA, maybe it hurt his moral. He's maybe made him believe that he's worse than what he is because he didn't play in the Olympics. But I don't know. To me, he should bring back that fire inside him. Second player I want to mention, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam, pretty good game, 25 points on 10 of 15 shooting. Siakam, very good. I always feel like with Siakam that he's a better shooter than what he looks like, because he looks a bit like his runs a bit like heterodox, like he's moving a lot his limbs when he runs, but then he lines up and he shoots and he's very smooth. But it doesn't feel like he's such a good shooter, like a mid-range or even 3-point shooter. And then last mention from Indiana, Andrew Nembhard, amazing. For me, the best player of Indiana, definitely the best player in the first half. 8 of 13 from the field, 5 assists and 17 points. Great. And I remember in the first quarter, he was attacking Brook Lopez, bumping, laying up alone. He uses his body perfectly. Very good, Andrew Nembhard. From the Milwaukee side, good things, only 2. Giannis, as always, he's always good. 14 of 23 from the field, 36 points and 12 rebounds. As always, good. 30 minutes, though. Kyle Kuzma, bad. 0 points, 0 of 5 from the field, 21 minutes. He disappeared completely. I didn't see him in the court. And then, good as well, AJ Green from the bench, the shooter. 15 points, 5 3-pointers, a lot of grit, a lot of fight. Pretty good defender. So yeah, I like this guy. But yeah, not much more from Milwaukee. They were very lost when Giannis was not. Now, the overreaction here is that overreaction. Indiana is a serious contender for the NBA Finals. What do I say this? I saw them very superior to Milwaukee. I think even if Lillard comes back, I don't think it's going to matter much. I don't think Milwaukee can win more than 2 games, and I think 2 is a lot. Actually, I will change my prediction to 4-1 or 4-0 after what I saw. But not only that, I feel like Indiana has been playing great the last half of the season. In the analysis that I did against the top teams, they were having a great record. And I think they are really a contender from the East. I think there's 3 contenders realistically: Boston, Cleveland, and then Indiana. I think it's in that order, but I think all 3 of them have a chance to make it to the finals. So yeah, that's this for this series. Let's go to the next one. Next series, also in the East, from the same part of the bracket. Number 2, Boston Celtics against Orlando Magic, number 7. Boston took the first game of the series, 103-86. And Orlando only could score 86 points. They didn't reach 20 points 3 of the quarters. The first quarter, actually, they reached 18 points with 1 of 10 shooting from the field goal. Terrible. All another key stats: points out of turnover, 8 for Orlando, 24 for Boston. Fast break points, 4 for Orlando, 26 for Boston. Now let's move to the Boston side. Derrick White was the best player with 30 points and 7 of 12 from 3-pointers. And also clutch, not clutch, but in special moments, the 3-pointers, when Orlando was pushing, a 3-pointer out of nowhere from Derrick White appeared. This guy is incredible. I think he's very underrated. He was the best player of Boston. Maybe he is always the best player of Boston. On the other hand, Jason Tatum, 17 points, 8 of 22. And Jaylen Brown, 16 points as well, both below 20. Peyton Pritchard from the bench, very well as well. Very good. 19 points. Boston does an amazing job of maintaining the advantages that they get when they break a defender. They just move the ball quickly and they shoot the quick 3-pointer. They don't speculate much. And actually it worked better for them when they didn't speculate, because the paint was very heavily protected by Orlando's bigs. Orlando's defense was amazing, especially in the paint. That's why Tatum and Brown struggled. I actually recommend watching Orlando for the defense highlights, because they were impressive the way they move, and Isaac was everywhere. Wendell Carter, it was a sight to see. But yeah, anyways, Boston does a great job of moving the ball and shooting quick 3-pointers, and they were actually doing better. It was better for them when they shot threes than when they were trying to attack the rim. As well, also last thing to say about Boston, Tatum injured with his wrist, so let's keep an eye on that for the next game of the series. That could be maybe something to take into consideration for the future. On the side of Orlando, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner were completely allowed in the game. Banchero scored 36 points, Wagner 23, but the third highest scorer from Orlando was Isaac with 7. That's it. In between the 2 forwards, Banchero and Wagner, they scored 59 out of 86 points of the game. Franz, let's talk about Franz. To me, he has a great footwork. He attacks super amazingly the rim, but he has an issue that he doesn't convert the shots. I don't know why, because his mechanics look okay. It would be amazing if they could make shots, because really, it's not only France. They struggle a lot to make shots. I feel like if Orlando made 15% more of the shots that they take, they could win the NBA. This is the level, because the defense is immaculate. But the problem is that they cannot score. And not only they cannot score like shooting, they also are, I'm realizing, they are not good passers. They cannot generate for others. They are not good at creating for others and passing. For example, there are other players like Draymond Green. He's a good passer. Even though he cannot score, he creates for others. In Orlando, there is not even that profile. So they have just defenders, and then in offense, it has to be one-on-one from Wagner and Banchero. They really struggle, like I mentioned. And also, they don't play fast break. They play slow, so it's not even like they can get easy baskets. They are not good at converting defense into offense. So they cannot shoot, they cannot pass, and they don't convert defense into offense. So they struggle a lot. 86 points is not enough for sure. They survived because of the offensive rebounds that Orlando got, because they are pretty big and pretty athletic. And that's it. I don't really know. Like, the defense side is good. They cannot do anything else. I don't know how they can solve the offense, because really it seems a big issue. Now, my overreaction to this is that if you get Boston under 105 points, if you get Tatum and Brown under 20 points, and you still don't win, I don't know what you can do to win a game in this series, really. It's like that. That's a bit of a overreaction, of course, because I do think they can win some games. But if they score less than 90 points, less than 100 points, it's going to be impossible. So they need to figure out that, because it's not, it's, yeah. There is no way that you can win against Boston scoring 86 points, 90 points, or even 90 something points. So they need to figure out something. That's it for this series. Let's see what happens in the future. And we go to the other side of the bracket in the East. We have the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers against Miami Heat. They played Sunday. Cleveland won 121-100. Let's go to the box score. Bam Adebayo for Miami, good, 24 points. Wiggins, 14. Hero, 21. And from the bench, Davion Mitchell playing pretty good, 18 points. In the Cleveland side, Donovan Mitchell, without anyone noticing, he scored 30 points. I really didn't notice those 30 points scored. Garland, 27 points, also magnificent. And then from the bench, Ty Jerome had a ridiculous, I don't know how to say it, a ridiculous quarter, let's say. By the way, he did 10 of 15 and 5 of 8 from the 3, 28 points. And I believe in the fourth quarter, he scored in around, he scored or assisted in 25 points in a row or something like that. It was ridiculous. It was unstoppable at that moment. Okay, first thing I want to comment from the game. We are back to 2000s basket. Why do I say that? Because both teams were playing with two bigs, which is Miami, Kelly Ware and Bam Adebayo, Cleveland, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley. So let's talk about Cleveland. Fantastic game by the guards, Garland and Mitchell. Garland is so beautiful to watch his game. He's so delicate and so talented. And Mitchell is the same, a bit less delicate and a bit more aggressive and athletic, but both incredible to watch. They were attacking a lot in the pick and roll. They played both teams a lot of pick and roll, and the guards from Cleveland were attacking a lot the drop of the big when playing pick and roll. So when the big was waiting for them inside the 3-point line, they would just go through the pick and roll, stop, and pop from 3 and make them. Also, I have to say that both teams rely a lot in pick and roll because Miami was playing out of 2-on-2 with Hero and Bam Adebayo. In Cleveland, in defense, Cleveland was clearly funneling all Miami's offense to run into the paint against their bigs. They were denying the pick and roll, so the guard had to pass to the roll, to Bam Adebayo, for example, to attack the paint, and waiting there was Jarrett Allen or Evan Mobley. And they were also denying the interior pass, so they were fronting it, so they have to lob the pass to the bigs, and again, they will turn around, and the bigs of Cleveland were there. So they heavily rely on an aggressive exterior line because they rely on their interior line to protect the rim late. What else to say? Yes, Kenny Atkinson, the coach from Cleveland, pretty chill dude. I never heard him talk before, but he looks pretty nice, pretty chill, pretty calm, always under control, and I like him. Good vibes. Now, moving on to Miami. One good thing to say about Miami, even though Cleveland went on crazy scoring runs and they scored 120 points, Miami fought and stayed in the game, which is typical for Miami and for Spoelstra. It's true, they were fighting and they were staying in the game, even though they are, in my opinion, much less talented. Also, their exterior defense, both Garland and Mitchell were pretty comfortable attacking. And it's true that Miami doesn't have good exterior defenders. I mean, they have Wiggins, which is okay, Davion Mitchell as well, but I feel like they were lacking defenders. The guards from Cleveland were very comfortable, too comfortable, I would say. Now, last thing, Davion Mitchell, this is a funny thing, played very good, but I want to say that he was being defended by Donovan Mitchell, which is funny. To me, they also look similar, very similar both. Both are like shortish, bulky, athletic, similar looking shot. To me, it looked like the Spiderman beam. Both Spidermans are looking at pointing at each other. So let's go with the overreaction. Miami doesn't have enough to compete, neither defensively or offensively against Cleveland. That's it. I think they could still. My prediction was 4-2. I think they could still steal 1 or 2 games. Maybe Cleveland doesn't shoot as good at Miami, and maybe at game Spoelstra goes with some random tactic that takes Cleveland a bit not expecting that, and they can win a couple of games. Still, I'm pretty 99% sure that Cleveland will win this, and even if it's 4-2, I think Cleveland is clearly superior to Miami. So that's all for this series. And we go to the last series from the East. Number 3, New York Knicks, Knickerbockers, against number 6, Detroit Pistons. They have played 2 games, 1 for each. To me, this is the most interesting series out of the East. The most competitive one, I think. I think it will be the most competitive one. The first game, well, let's say, first game, both games, Detroit was winning until the last quarter. First game, Knicks went on a 21-0 run. And Pistons shit their pants with the ambience of the Madison, and they couldn't score, and they lost. They also committed 19 turnovers in the first game. Second game, it was happening more or less the same. Knicks were behind. Detroit was ahead most of the game. Fourth quarter, Knicks start rowing back, start coming back. They tie the game, I think with around 1 minute left. Dennis Schroeder scores a magical out-of-nowhere three-pointer, good defended, and they go up 3, and then the Knicks cannot score a three-pointer back, and Detroit gets a win. But again, suffering and almost gives it away one more time. Also, second game, key stat, bench points, 35 for Detroit, 8 for the Knicks, although it's normal because the Knicks have a coach that doesn't believe in rest or in bench. He believes in 5 soldiers and no rest, only sweat, tears, and blood. Well, let's talk about the Knicks. Brunson is too alone in the offense. It's true that OG, for example, played a great game in the first game. Karl Anthony Towns is always scoring sometimes, but most of the offense is heavily relied in Jalen Brunson's production generation for others. And I think Brunson is not, well, he makes big shots, but he also misses some shots, and he's not the most efficient guy. But he gets the shots off, which is already important. He's also very smart. Sneaky smart, I don't like him. He's always in the round trying to get faults. I don't think they should call that many faults on him or for him, but he's all the time trying to do this kind of dirty, it's part of the game, but it's also my subjective view, but I don't like it. But he's smart with it. And also, but one thing that I think the NBA should fix definitely is the 3-point shooting fault. I saw it with Peyton Pritchard in Boston. I also saw it with Brunson twice in the last game. He fakes the 3-pointer, the defender jumps, but it's not going to land on him. It's not going to land pretty close to him, but not on him. And Brunson just shoots, but not shoots. He jumps into the defender and then tries to shoot. To me, that's not a defensive fault. It could be actually an offensive fault because the defender is the one getting into the chest of the offensive player, the opposite way. So yeah, I think the NBA should look into that because it's actually not pretty and I don't like it, and I think it's not even fair. Now that you cannot play in defense, I think most defenders are not even jumping; they're just like getting up right. The offensive player is just jumping into them. What else about the Knicks? They love the Madison is true. Is like the 6th player for the Knicks because when they are behind, the Knicks love to be behind. They love to, come back. And they like to get all the crowd pumped, and teams struggle with that. Like the other teams struggle, and Detroit, which is kind of like a young team, of course they did struggle, and they got actually lucky that Schroeder scored a 3-pointer and they got the win. From the Detroit side, I feel like actually after these 2 games they were the better team overall, and I think they are the better team overall. They are more athletic. They are better defensive players. And yeah, I think they play better. I also think that, for example, Ausar Thompson and Schroeder and other defenders of Brunson should start to learn how to deal with frustration because Brunson can be, and it is very frustrating to defend him. But yeah, that's it. Kate Cunningham, kind of poor first game, amazing second game. I felt like in the first game he was trying to, he was speculating too much. He was trying to do too many moves to get a clear shot. But in the second game, he was much more vertical. As soon as he had a step, like a half a meter, he shot it, or he attacked the rim. And I think it worked much better for him. Also, the Detroit switch made some screens for him to not have OG on him. And against Mikal Bridges, which was his defender most of the game because of the switches, he was very comfortable. He was bigger than him, so he did. But also the mentality from Cade was, again, much more vertical to the rim. And he did the play, which in my opinion is the second best play out of the players so far. I will talk about the first one later, which was this behind the back dribble, finishing in a dunk in the fast break. Pretty smooth. Cade looks super smooth, yeah, he looked great. Who else was good? Schroeder, pretty good. Tobias Harris playing good. Malik Beasley, better first game, but also okay second game. This guy pulls up from three as soon as he catches it. Super quick, super elegant in the shooting motion. Also surprised to see Tim Hardaway Jr. playing basketball. I thought this guy was close to retirement, but he's playing actually decent basketball. I don't know why the Dallas Mavericks were not using him the last years. And last player to comment on the Detroit Pistons, Jalen Duren. This guy reminds me of Ben Wallace because he plays at Pistons. He's not the biggest, the tallest dude, but he's strong as heck. He's it looks like if you touch him, you get a bruise because he's too big, he's too strong, like too many muscles. Maybe it doesn't have the jumping ability of Ben Wallace, but definitely strong and similar kind of player, defense oriented. And even though he looks 40, he's only 21, which I don't understand. He has to be at his physical peak because it's impossible to get more strong than he is right now. So here I go with the overreaction to the two games, and it is that Detroit is clearly superior and they will win in 6 games. Why in 6? Because I don't think they will win again in the Madison, but I feel like the Knicks, without the Madison supporting them, I don't think they will win a game in Detroit. So that means that if Detroit takes care of business at home, they will win in 6 games. And we move on to the West, starting from up top. Number 1, OKC against number 8, Memphis Grizzlies. 1 game has been played for Oklahoma. 80 points for Memphis, 131 for OKC. One of the biggest wins, probably the biggest win in playoff history, 51 points. Memphis scored 36 at half, while OKC scored 36 only in the second quarter. The game was done by like half of the second quarter, and then really there was not much to watch. It wasn't fun to watch either. Memphis has been playing pretty poorly the last month or 2 months of the season before they changed the coach, but also changing the coach doesn't help before the playoffs. And also on top of that, Lizalo is trying to change the way that they play, which is not the best timing to do that. Like, at least, for example, in Denver, they are still playing the same way. But no, Lizalo is trying new things, which is not great timing to do that. Second point that I want to make about Memphis is going to be quick, this recap of this series, because there's not much to comment. Did Ja Morant lose some athleticism? Because he looks, last season before the injury, when he played those 8 games, he looked a bit more sturdy, like a bit bigger, a bit strong, and now he looks super skinny, and he's not even dunking. It looks like he cannot contact the same way against the defenders. He looks like I just thought about it, I feel like he is skinnier and he lost a bit of athletic ability. Okay, so let's go with the overreaction out of this game 1. The overreaction is the Memphis Grizzlies is a drifting boat right now, and they are going to lose 4-0, but not only that, they are not going to lose any game by less than 15 points. So I think every game is going to be 15 or more points loss for Memphis. I think they are at this point right now. And I think OKC is that So that's the overreaction. And we go to the other series in the West, the 4-5 matchup. Denver Nuggets against Los Angeles Clippers, which they are right now tied 1-1. It's funny because to me, the better team lost both games. So in the first game, the Clippers were better, but Jokic got mad and he decided to carry his own team in the shoulders, and he did that. And then Westbrook scored a three-pointer miraculously to force the overtime, and the Denver took the win. I don't even know how. In the other hand, the second game, Denver was playing better. They were winning, and Kawhi decided that he was gonna, he didn't want to miss any shot, so Clippers won. So let's talk about the Clippers a bit. I feel like they have one play style, the Clippers. They play at the same rhythm. They do the same all game, and it's more up to the opponent if they win or they lose. They're just gonna do what they do, which is out of 1-on-1 for Harden, out of 1-on-1 for Kawhi, and that's it. They are very regular. Now, if Kawhi, like I said, if he does 15 for 19 in shots and scores 39 points, yes, you might win. That's it. It's true. At some point, I was rooting for Denver. I like Denver more. I like Kawhi as well. I think at some point I was just applauding Kawhi because there's nothing else you can do. I like his playstyle. I think he's amazing. I'm glad that he's at this level. And it was a sight to behold, really. It was amazing to see what he was doing. It was ridiculous at some point. It was like, he's not going to miss. He's not going to miss, so that's it. That's it. Also in defense, Clippers, they're playing one-on-one against Jokic. They don't want him to involve their teammates. They don't want him to distribute as he likes to do, which is, yeah. So Subats is playing with Subats has to dance with the ugliest. I think that, I don't know if that expression makes sense in English. Doesn't matter. I think you understand. And then on the Denver side, I don't know why they don't use Michael Porter Jr. more. This guy scored 15 points in the second game without touching the ball. Really, in between offensive rebounds and some open threes, that's it. 15 points. He generates so much with so little that they should look for him much more, especially when Denver struggles to open the court. Like they usually have players who cannot shoot. Steph, Jamal, Jokic, that's it. And then MPJ is the best shooter on the team, so they should look for him much more. I don't know why they don't do it. They don't run plays to him, but he's anyways scores. And yeah, they should do that. Hopefully they do that in the future. Also, I feel like Denver, I saw two Denver teams. The first day, like I mentioned, like kind of only Jokic carrying everything. And the second day, it was actually, they played with a faster pace, a bit more freely. I saw Jamal being Jamal, like taking shots when he was semi-open. He was not like, in the first game, he was speculating. I like the word speculating, like a lot, trying to work it out. No, this game he felt much more freely. He's shooting and he made them, and that was fine. Also, like I said, MPJ getting involved. Offensive rebound was important with Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and MPJ, three big dudes that they should play more. Yeah. So I like more the pace. The fast pace, I think, helps Denver. It's true that at the end of the game, the pace slowed down. They came back to this kind of, they stopped playing so freely. I feel like Jamal, I feel like sometimes they rely too much on Jokic, and they started committing some mistakes. And on the other hand, Kawhi didn't commit any mistake, and Clipper took the win. My overreaction to this series is that Denver has this. I feel like Denver are going to win. I thought in the preview that Denver will win in 6. After the first game, I was like, well, this is going to be a struggle. I thought they will still win, maybe in 7, but I felt like Jokic was going to have to do like a massive thing, and he will be like super tired for the next year. Like, it will be almost, yeah, he will not be able to move in the next series because I thought they will still win. Now, even though they lost the second games, I have higher hopes for Denver. I think they show me that they are actually better than I thought they were, even though they lost. And I feel like they can win this back in 6. Maybe 7, but at different pace. Like I feel like they could win it, without Jokic having to do everything, which is a good thing. So that's my overreaction of the Clippers-Denver series. And we go with the third series of the West. Los Angeles Lakers, third seed, against Minnesota Timberwolves, sixth seed. They played one game, and Minnesota won 117-95. Minnesota scored in the second quarter 38 points and 35 in the third quarter. They couldn't miss that moment. It was impressive. Fast break points, 25 for Minnesota, 6 for the Lakers. Bench points, 43 for Minnesota, most of them from Naz Reid, 13 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's look at the box score. Anthony Edwards, 22 points, 4 of 9 from 3-point land. Julius Randle, 16 points, 4 of 6 from threes. Jaden McDaniels, 25 points, 3 of 3 from 3. Mike Conley, 9 points, 2 of 3 from 3-pointers. Naz Reid, 23 points, 6 3-pointers out of 9 attempts. As you can see, I'm saying this because the rate of scoring 3-pointers from Minnesota was incredible. They were not missing a shot. In the Lakers side, Luka Doncic very well, 37 points. Austin Reeves, 16. LeBron, 19. LeBron, who had a quiet game. He was not committing a lot of errors, but he was not also doing a lot. Quiet. From Minnesota, excellent performance. They didn't miss anything. It didn't seem real, the scoring that they were doing. And maybe it's not real. So let's see what happens in the following games. Naz Reid is the best big from Minnesota. Forget Rudy Gobert, forget Julius Randle. The best big of Minnesota is Naz Reid. The rest, there I said it. I think a lot of people might agree. And also Minnesota, they were much more athletic, much better defenders than the Lakers. They overpowered the Lakers by a lot. And the LeBron, like I said, he was quiet. He was kind of uncomfortable in offense against the defenders that they were putting on him. He was not comfortable attacking the rim. From the Lakers side, yes, they competed the first quarter thanks to Luka going bananas. I don't know how many points he scored in the first quarter, but he actually was making the Lakers ahead of Minnesota. But they cannot expect 50 points from Luka to just compete in the game. So they need to do something else. For example, Austin Reeves, he didn't play bad, but he was the primary defender of Anthony Edwards, which he actually did okay, but this means that the defensive side of Lakers is weak, and their athletic ability is also pretty weak with the lineup that they play with. I'm thinking that maybe it would be wise for the Lakers to put back Reeves in the bench, play him from the bench, and play with Luka, LeBron, and maybe 3 more athletic players to match the athletic ability and the defensive side of Minnesota, because it's really difficult with these 3 guys. I know the 3 guys, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, they are great in offense, but maybe it's worth it against this team, against Minnesota, to match a bit the physicality. Like maybe add Vanderbilt to the starting lineup, maybe Gabe Vincent as a guard, maybe something like that. Maybe Finney-Smith. So also, something that I noticed from the Lakers, Luka does not sprint. He plays basketball without sprinting. I know people know that, more or less. I thought that already, but I saw it very clearly in a fast break. He got the ball and he went 70%, no more. And he made the right decision and the right lectures. Maybe that's the way to play basketball. Maybe in basketball, you need to have a fast, quick first step. But that's it. Maybe you don't need to go 100%. Maybe it's better to go 70% so you can make the read, so you can stop and shoot, pull up. So maybe you can make the right passes. It's true that Luka is always under control making decisions. So maybe that's the reason why he goes 70%. My overreaction for this series is that Lakers can and should pray that Minnesota doesn't make 3-pointers at the rate that they did, because if not, they have nothing to do. J.A. Redick said during the game that what was happening to the Lakers, the reason that they were losing was not any tactical thing that Minnesota was doing. It was based on the intensity that the Lakers were playing at regular season intensity, not playoff intensity. If Redick comes to the second game with that in mind, they're going to lose again. They lost by 22 points, and it was not intensity. Maybe it was part of it, but 22 points are not only intensity. Again, like I said, they probably need to switch something. There was something tactically. If there is nothing tactically, it means that they are better than you. So you need to figure something out. Does this mean that I changed? I said at the preview that the Lakers will win in 6 games. Does this game change my prediction? I'm not sure, but not yet. Maybe it changes to 7 games for Lakers. But no, I'm not going to change it yet. I think the level of scoring of Minnesota is not real from the first game. 1. I think LeBron might play a bit better. 2. I think the Lakers Redick might make some adjustments. 3. And I also think that in tight games, if Lakers achieve arriving to the end tight, I trust them more than I trust Minnesota. So I will give still the edge to the Lakers. Last series to recap in the West, number 2, second seed, Houston Rockets versus 7th seed, Golden State Warriors. They played 1 game so far. Warriors won by 10, 95-85, low score. Biggest lead for the Warriors was 23 at 1 point. Looking at the box score, Jimmy Butler, 10 of 19 from the field goal, 25 points. Stephen Curry, 12 of 19 from the field goal, 5 of 9 from 3, 31 points. Podziemski, pretty good, 14 points and 5 assists. From the Houston side, Alperen Sengun, 11 of 18 from the field, 26 points and 9 rebounds, very good. Fred VanVleet, only 2 of 13 from 3, bad. Jalen Green, 3 of 15 from the field goal, 0 of 4 from 3, 7 points only for the highest scoring player of the Rockets in average. Not good. Let me talk about the Rockets first. They started in a very good way. They started playing face-to-face with a defender on Curry and switching in all the indirect screens except Sengun. They were letting Golden State Warriors play 4-on-4 without Curry. They were denying him the ball, and it worked well in the first quarter, but after that, I guess the focus, or it was difficult to maintain the focus like that, and Curry was able to appear, and he did appear in a good way for Warriors, in a bad way for the Rockets. What else? Sengun. Amazing game from Alperen Sengun. I'm going to eat my words because I said that he could struggle against Green because I saw him struggle in the past, but no. He came ready, he came prepared, he played very well. He was very focused in the game. He actually did, I mentioned before that Kate did the second best play of the playoffs so far. Sengun made the best play of the playoffs. He running soreless pick and roll, he cut to the basket, they gave him the ball, he jumped and dunked all over Draymond Green. Incredible dunk. I yelled in my house. My neighbors were concerned. Sengun is very sneaky athletic because he does some facials that are out of nowhere that you don't expect because the guy is not like, he doesn't look like a guy who's going to dunk on you at all. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it, but he doesn't look like it, right? But it's true. Right? There was some videos of Sengun, if you want to check, that he's doing the splits on the floor and touching his fingertips. So that's it. Like he's very athletic in the sense that he's very flexible, and that helps him jump. He's not quick, though. What else from the Rockets side? Yeah, they were playing huge lineups against the Warriors. I don't know why. They were playing with Steven Adams, 7-footer, Sengun, 6'11 or 6'10, Amen Thompson, around 6'6", 6'7", Jabari Smith, 6'8", 6'9", That is on 6-8. So huge lineup. Of course, lots of defense, very athletic, lots of rebound in defense and in offense, but they couldn't make a shot. They couldn't make a shot. And it's not that they couldn't even make a shot, they could also not open the court for Sengun to play in the post. Like it was just jammed everyone in the zone and there was no option to score. So yeah, a lot of defense, but at what cost, right? What else? They also played some ISO plays for Jalen Green to attack Stephen Curry. I guess they wanted him to get some faults in foul trouble, but it didn't work out. Jalen Green was not sharp in the night. And yeah, last thing, not especially about the Rockets, but about the Thompson twins, actually, both of them I'm going to talk about. I see, and I think both twins have a chance to become what Kawhi and Jimmy Butler became one time. They are great defensive and athletic players, such as Kawhi and Jimmy Butler were. They have the physical tools, they have the talent, actually. I think they have the talent. They have the mentality, the poise. I think they are very mature as young players. And I think they could develop into becoming not only a defensive menace, but also a good or an amazing offensive player. I think they have. I saw it. I see it. I think they could. And yeah, that's it. So hopefully they do. On the Warriors side, Warriors have they have hired a consultant that the consultant has installed into them the agile methodology, because Warriors they play by sprints. So they are not constant, but they do, like, they play by sprints. They do partials. They are right now, they are chilling, then Stephen Curry 3-pointer, backdoor cut by G. Butler and basket, and then another 3-pointer by Podziemski. 8-0, timeout, they are done. And yeah, that's how they play. They maintain the level, but they do a sprint, they stop, That's how they do it. Why do I say this? Because I saw that the Rockets were sometimes cutting back the distance with the Warriors, but to be honest, the Warriors were never nervous, and I thought that the Rockets, even though they were close in the scoreboard, they were really never close, because as soon as they get close, it was like a 3-pointer or something from the Warriors, like a couple or 3 baskets in a row, and it was done. So yeah, that's it. They are like agile. They use the agile methodology. Also, Warriors play with high Q players, such as Podziemski, and such as not, I guess, Kuminga, because Kuminga doesn't play, although he was playing in the regular season, but he's not playing in the playoffs. I guess Kerr doesn't trust him. He doesn't trust his lectures of the game, and he's not playing. And and the Warriors play better, and they like to have high IQ players in the court, players who make very good reads. And Podziemski is an example of that. Another thing, Steve Kerr during the game mentioned he was in a timeout talking to his team, and the microphone was on. So, well, I don't know how they do it, this inside track. But yeah, he was telling the team, the defensive rebound is what is important, because Houston Rockets cannot score on us if we don't give them the rebound or we don't make a turnover. And it's true. Rockets could not score on a normal 5-on-5. They had to score on the offensive rebound or turnover. And it's completely true. Last thing about the Warriors, Stephen Curry, I was going to say impressive. I don't even know if it's impressive or not, or if just that's who Stephen Curry is. But yeah, ridiculous shots. I think maybe it's the norm. Maybe it's normal for a guy to score from not 10 feet, like 20 feet away. Yeah, maybe that's the normal that is the normal for Stephen Curry. Yeah, and shooting out of, like, falling out of bounds. Yeah, another day in the office for Stephen. Do I think he will play like this every game? No. So Rockets might have a chance to win a game or two, but do I think most of the games Curry will be played like that? Yes, because that's who Stephen Curry is. So my overreaction for this game 1 of the series is that no matter how good the defense of the Rockets is, if they cannot score 100 points, they're not going to win any game. They didn't even score 90 points. So, yeah. Like I said, yeah, no matter, like, they played great defense. Warriors in 95 points is amazing. Warriors in 95 points with Curry shooting threes from the logo, it's great. But if you cannot score 100 points, there is nothing you can do, really. So yeah, that's it. Does this change my prediction? Well, maybe. I said 4-2 to the Warriors. Maybe now I give it 4-1 to the Warriors, but yeah. So yeah. So actually that's it for today. I did a recap of all the series. I will try to do the recap again after game 2 or 3 of the series, depending on how I can do it. I hope you're enjoying a lot of the playoffs. I hope you're watching the games because some of them are pretty good. A lot of intensity. I hope you can like this video if you watch it, this podcast. Subscribe, follow, and see you soon. Bye bye.